Hi, greetings, fellow Whovians. Whovian Queen here. How's my good week so far? Well, our look at the 11th Doctor era now continues on with the episode A Town Called Mercy. First, let's take a little look at a prequel. A prequel to A Town Called Mercy was released exclusively on iTunes entitled The Making of the Gunslinger. It depicts the actual making of formation of the Gunslinger from a normal humanoid body, and also an explanation of the making of the Gunslinger and voiceover by Keller Jex. And now to the actual plot of the episode. The 11th Doctor, Amy and Roy arrive at the American frontier town of Mercy. They find that no one has been able to leave or enter the town due to actions of the Gunslinger, who demands they turn over Keller Jex, an alien scientist that crashed to Earth years earlier. The townspeople rescued him, and in exchange, he provided them with primitive electricity and the means to stop a cholera outbreak. The town's marshal, Isaac, is hesitant of turning over his friend to the Gunslinger, despite being near the end of their supplies. The Doctor sneaks out to get the TARDIS but finds Jack's crashed ship and discovers he was one of several scientists that did inhuman experiments to create cyborgs on their war-torn homeworld. The Gunslinger arrives and confirms the Doctor's theory that he is one of Jex's experiments. He has sought vengeance and killed all but Jex. Though he cannot harm innocents by his programming, the Gunslinger warns that Jex must be brought to him or he will take more drastic measures. The Doctor returns to town and angrily drags Jex to face the Gunslinger. Amy asserts that the Doctor has changed for the worse from months of traveling on his own. Jex pleads that he is atoned, but the cyborg prepares to kill him. Isaac pushes Jex out of the way and takes the lethal shot. As he dies, Isaac gives the Doctor his marshal badge and has him promise to protect Mercy. The Gunslinger departs, warning he will return for Jex at noon tomorrow. Jex tells the Doctor he is remorseful for all those deaths his work has caused. The townsfolk demand the Doctor turn Jex over, but he reminds them that Isaac's death will be for naught if they do so, and has come up with a plan from learning about Jex's society. When the Gunslinger arrives the next day, residents wear facial markings similar to Jex's race through town, confusing the cyborg and allowing Jex to flee to his ship. However, instead of taking off, Jex tells the Doctor he is ready to face justice in the afterlife and causes the ship to self-destruct. The Gunslinger, with no further purpose, prepares to travel distance to self-destruct, but the Doctor suggests a new resolve. As the Doctor, Amy, and Rory leave, the Gunslinger watches over Mercy as its new marshal. Well, that's a lot better faith than the alternative, so yeah. So anyway, let's take a look at the production of this episode. In looking to give each episode a distinct feel, showrunner Stephen Moffat pitched the Wallace to writer Toby Whithouse, suggesting that the episode could be about a town terrorized by a robot. Moffat was keen on putting Matt Smith in a Western setting, so he called one of the last people one would expect to replace Clint Eastwood. Whithouse had previously written the Doctor episodes School Reunion, Vampires of Venice, and The God Complex. Moffat had been planning for the first 5 episodes of the series to have movie marquee themes. Whithouse noticed that it was a genre he had written before, but he absolutely loved it. The Wild West has not been a setting for a Doctor Who episode since the 1966 third-season serial The Gunfighters. Whithouse was advised not to watch The Gunfighters by the writers, who said it was not exactly the jewel in the crown. Whithouse felt obliged to include common Western tropes, such as the Doctor riding a horse in a face-off. He stated the hardest scene to write was where the Doctor is forced to use a gun. The Doctor is a pacifist and we need the right sort of emotional journey. Whithouse preferred the cyborg villain to be three-dimensional and sympathetic, which required to have a living consciousness rather than simply be a soulless automaton. He wanted its look to be reminiscent of Frankenstein's monster, and later called the design fantastic. It took about 3.5 hours for Andrew Brooke to have all the makeup applied. Due to the costume, Brooke had to act with just his left eye. Smith had praised for guest actors Ben Browder, who he said made a good cowboy with a great drawl, and Adrian Scarborough, who he said steals the whole episode. Browder was offered the role and gladly accepted. He was aware of the show as his children had watched it, and he also wanted to do a Western. Whithouse was thrilled with Browder's performance, as it was how he imagined the character. A Town Called Mercy, in the previous episode Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, the first episodes to be produced for the 7th series. Both are directed by Saul Metzine. The two episodes are Metzine's first Doctor Who credits. Much of the episode was filmed around the desert area of Almeria, Spain, where studios have built Wild West-style streets that have been used in the making of over 100 Western set films, such as The Fistful of Dollars. Filming the episode in Spain was cheaper than constructing a set in the UK. Moffat stated, quote, "We knew from the start we need some serious location shooting for this one, and given the most iconic American setting imaginable, there was only one place to go: Spain." They reportedly filmed there from March 8th to March 17th, 2012. Filming took place at Oasis/Mini Hollywood and for Bravo/Texas Hollywood. While Smith was allowed to drive right in the horse, most of the action shown in the episode was done by a stuntman. Composer Murray Goldman mimicked Western-style scores when creating the music for this episode. And it did sound pretty good, if I do say so myself. And now finally, let's look at some themes surrounding this episode. James F. McGrath of the religious website Pethios found that A Town Called Mercy has strong religious and moral messages, writing that it, quote, really is about mercy, about forgiveness, about war crimes, about vengeance, and about justice. He interpreted Amy's comment about how the doctor's behavior was due to his being alone for too long, meant that, quote, when we lose our ties to other human beings, we can begin to treat matters of mercy and justice and fit other persons differently and personally. McGrath also noted a take-home religious message in the scene near the end, where the town gathers in the church while the gunslinger and the doctor face off. He felt that it emphasized the importance of valuing human life. Gavin Fuller of the Daily Telegraph wrote that the Western concept was, quote, effectively window dressing for Toby Whithouse's powerful morality tale, where not everything was quite as it seemed, and went on to explore issues of morality, ethics, conscience, and justice. The AV Club reviewer Keith Phipps noted that the, quote, never-ending struggle between order and chaos was common in Westerns, and the episode represented the question of, quote, what should win out, lawless revenge or civilized justice? Ian Berryman of SFX interpreted the border around mercy as a metaphor for the Doctor nearly crossing the line and breaking his own moral code. He likened the Doctor's debate to that of the Fourth Doctor in Genesis of the Daleks and the Fifth Doctor in Resurrection of the Daleks. In addition, reviewers noted that the episode presented its characters with shades of gray, rather than the black and white villains typically seen in the show. Yeah, I can definitely see that in this episode, so yeah. So overall, this is a pretty darn good episode, and I do like the Western aesthetic in this episode, and it's just pretty darn good overall, so yeah. So overall, I give A Town Called Mercy 4 sonic screwdrivers out of 5. Well, anyway, tune in next time as we take a look at the next episode, The Power of 3. Well, hope you enjoyed that review, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it around, hit the bell icon to be notified about when I upload videos, and if you want to help support this channel, then be sure to check out my Patreon page. Link, as always, is in the description below. Anyway, until next time, this is Sylvie and Queen saying, oh my giddy aunt! When I say run, run! I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow. Would you like a jelly baby? Fantastic! Allons-y! Geronimo! Bow ties are cool, fezzes are cool, and Stetsons are cool.